Welcome back to another episode of How Did They Grow? I created this podcast because I wanted you to learn how other coaches, freelancers, service providers, and course sellers are growing their business, landing 10 to 20 new clients every single month, paying them 50, 100, 200K months. See, if they've done it, you can too. And that's just the reality. And I want you to listen to these podcasts to understand what strategies are they using, what techniques are they exploring, because it's in these gems that you can apply it to your business and actually scale things up. When you're ready and you feel like you actually want to learn practical, proven methodologies, or even you want to hire a team that can build you a profitable personal brand, book in a chat with our team because we can guarantee you go viral and guarantee you get clients for your business. All right, so today we have Kerry Ann Kedziora with us. I'm super grateful to have you. Amazing entrepreneur and businesswoman, has scaled her business to multiple six figures, currently hitting 35 to 50K a month in teaching cleaning business owners on how to scale their business. So Kerry, I'm so grateful to have Kerry, and I'm so grateful to have you here. Let's start with, where did this all begin? All right, you mentioned 5 years ago. Let's start there.
Wow. Oh, awesome. I love this. I love starting here. So let me tell you that it all began with a dream, honestly. It was right after COVID had desecrated my business. And actually, my husband and I ended up homeless. And we had a residential cleaning business that was doing quite well. We were in our second year, at the end of our second year of business when COVID hit, but it was residential. So 98% of our business was in residential cleaning. And the government said you can't go into homes anymore. And so we lost 98% of our business. We happened to be in a lease to own in our first home. And the landlord said that we could not extend the lease to own agreement to September. So what happened was, on March 13th, we were to sign our mortgage, and the bank, I actually cleaned for the bank in this little town. They were making an exception because they knew who I was, and they knew that I was trustworthy. They were making an exception on the mortgage because in the first 2 years, you really can't get a mortgage in Canada when you're a solo business owner, an entrepreneur. So on March 11th, the government said we couldn't go into homes. The bank called me and said, we're not going to be able to give you the mortgage. We were to sign 2 days later. If we had signed 2 days earlier, we would have a different story right now. So we ended up homeless. It's a long story, so I'm not going to go into it, but anybody can find out by Googling my name. You'll find my story, and there's a book coming out soon. So after we managed to settle ourselves, we decided we did not want to go back to our job. We needed to find a way to save our business. So we pivoted to vacation rental and commercial. I just immersed myself actually for 16 hours a day for 2 straight weeks. I just learned everything I could about B2B commercial cleaning. And 2 weeks of, like, honestly, I was held in my room. My husband would bring snacks and coffee and stuff. I would not leave my room. After those 2 weeks, we got busy, and we actually increased our revenues from September 2020 to January of 2021 by $640,000 in revenue. So yeah, it was awesome. So in doing that, actually, the program that I have now is not how it all started. We were every once in a while treating ourselves to stay in a vacation rental or a resort, because you could stay at really nice places for like 70% off. And we're thinking, well, it's really nice for a weekend now and then to feel like you have a home. So we started staying at these vacation rentals, and we just couldn't believe how not clean they were. So it got to the point that we were bringing our supply kit with us anytime we went anywhere to clean before we stayed. And
I love that.
I thought, is it just that nobody knows how to clean, or is it because of there's nobody to work? What's the problem? So for our anniversary, which actually was yesterday, every year we went somewhere, we went on a vacation somewhere. But that year we couldn't. We had to do a staycation. So we went to this resort in our local community. It was like the most expensive resort we had ever stayed in. And I said to my husband, I said, we're finally we're not going to have to clean, because at a place this expensive, it's going to be clean. And it wasn't. It was dirty. And so I was sitting on the bed And I was like, this is ridiculous. Something needs to be done. And that's when the start of my program happened. I was like, I'm going to train the employees of cleaning business owners. They must not have the time to train their employees. So my program started out as a program called Train My Vacation Rental Employee.
Wow. Amazing.
It was a cheap, really inexpensive program. And as I was starting to talk to these business owners, I found out that they needed help to learn how to grow their business. And I decided to give that a shot. I thought, well, maybe I could teach them both. So that's what I do now. I teach people basically the exact parameters I used to grow my business by 640,000 in those 4.5 months. I teach that to cleaning business owners in something called my master plan. So we now have a 3-step program. Foundations is for people starting out or people stuck usually in the first year or two and under 5,000 in income. Then we have our master plan, which is for people coming out of the foundations or people who are established and sort of stuck at the glass ceiling. And then we have our freedom program, which offers freedom to owners to not have to worry about anything in their back end, to be able to just focus on networking while our team takes care of all of their administration requirements.
Amazing. Amazing. That's so interesting how life almost kind of directed you in such a kind of subtle way into kind of where you are today. You know, the fact that you mentioned 2 days difference, this story would have been completely different. I love that so much. It just, I think our listeners and our viewers will really appreciate the fact that, you know, sometimes things just happen for a reason. And then
yeah, thank you. And, you know, I just want to point out that back then when that happened, it was absolutely devastating. My pride was broken. My dreams were stripped from me. I really, really was, it really was an awful time. But I'll tell you this, 4 years to the day, it happened April 1st, 2020, that I had to leave my home. And on April 1st, 2024, I left my home on purpose. I put everything in storage and we hit the road. We've been traveling ever since. And the difference is that before I was forced out and now I chose to, but I would have never chosen to take this journey of experiencing the world because I wouldn't have had the courage to do it if I hadn't already without consent ended up homeless. I'm not afraid to be homeless now.
Wow. Wow. And I think that's such a powerful move, right? For your own subconscious to just appreciate the fact that you're choosing this. There was a time you were forced into this, but now you're choosing this because you're in a different position, right? And I'm sure that's done wonders for your confidence, your self-esteem, and obviously everything thereafter, right? I love that. I love that so much. I want to talk a little bit more about the programs. So you mentioned the 3 different programs. Where have you found the most success for your students amongst those 3? Or not students, but clients, customers, etc., everything?
You know, that's a really great question. Because every student that immerses themselves finds success. But I would say the most like life-altering success for my students happens in the master plan. And that's because we take students from, you know, even I was telling you earlier, our most successful student started out with nothing, and within 6 months had increased his revenues to $500,000 a year. And those are the typical results. That program actually guarantees $120,000 in increased revenues because it works. Wow. I have seen such success that I feel confident in saying, you will make $120,000 if you follow this program. And most of my clients actually extend it to 300,000 to 500,000. I just don't guarantee that because mindset is a huge obstacle. And if they being the students, cannot overcome their own mindset, then I can't guarantee 500,000, right?
Yeah. I have 2 questions here. And the first one is, let's talk about, you know, the success you just mentioned. So that particular student, maybe you can share a little bit more details. Where were they at the beginning before they joined you? And kind of where did they end at the end of that program?
Yeah, this student was somebody I had met in November of 2022, I believe. Yes. And they were just sort of looking around. They had a job and wanted to kind of create a legacy for themselves, create self-sustainability. And they thought the cleaning business was it. And they're right, because there's not a lot of investment capital required to start a cleaning business. And this person was really smart in that they knew that if they started out on the right foot, it would be so much easier. So he was shopping around for mentors and came across me, and we talked a little through November and December. And then in February, I had a workshop that he entered. And in that workshop, he won the 6-month free master plan. And so it was really great for him because he honestly did not have the money to invest. And then what happened was 3 weeks into starting out with the master plan, I was excited because, well, honestly, there's no pressure when you give away a free master plan. I'm not pressured. At the same time, I knew he was a perfect student because he had a fire within him. And the danger of giving away free materials is that people don't see it as valuable. They don't invest their time because they have nothing to lose. And then later may go out and kind of tell the world that your program doesn't work, right? But with him, I just knew he had it in him. So I was grateful it was him that won. 3 weeks in, he came to me. He said, I need to meet with you right now. I have some news. It's like, it's terrible. It's absolutely life-shattering. And I thought, oh my goodness. Honestly, what I thought was, oh my goodness, who died? And so we got into the meeting, and he said, I just found out today that I lost my job. And I said, oh, hooray. And I had the recording somewhere, and he just went back like, this woman is crazy. And I said, this is fantastic, because now you don't have to choose when to quit your job. Just get out there and get busy. Well, he replaced his income from his job within 2 weeks. In fact, I do believe, now I'm not 100% positive, but I'd say I'm 90% positive that it was double his current income within 2 weeks. But this man, he just took his misfortune as an opportunity. And he grew his business to 500,000 in revenue within 6 months, 500,000 in annual revenue. And the only reason he's not in our Freedom Program is because he actually is running a second business that is similar to the Freedom Program. It's kind of funny because when I was saying to him, hey, would you like to upgrade into our Freedom Program? He's like, I really need to talk to you. We got into a call and he said, I'm doing the same sort of thing. I'm training virtual assistants to take care of business owners. He's like, cleaning business owners. He said, is that a problem? Of course not. Of course not. If you, I believe in attracting people who are core values fit and people who are like-minded. And that means there's enough work for both of us out there.
For sure. No, I love that. And I love the fact that that's your character, right? That says a lot about you as a person, as a business owner, as a teacher, as a coach. So I love that so much. I hope you're enjoying this podcast. I hope you're taking notes. I hope you're learning so much practical wisdom, because that's what I really wanted from this podcast. Now, I just want to quickly say, if you're looking for a team that can actually help you explode and go viral with your personal brand with proven methodologies, I say this because I've been doing this for the past 5 years. We've got a team of 30 people who are ready to go ahead and explode your brand so you can get clients begging to work with you. Have a chat with one of our advisors. You can book in a chat using one of the links around this video, because that chat might just change your life. I want to talk about where things started, right? Obviously, in terms of the business itself, right? We've obviously mentioned, the journey of where you are today, but I want to talk about the business itself in terms of client acquisition. Like, there are so many people listening to this podcast or watching this podcast and thinking, this sounds really great, but I'm just trying to get my first 10. And from my first 10, I then want to start consistently be getting 10 every month. What do I need to do that? What have you done yourself? How have you leveraged social media to make that happen, etc.? So I
love this question. The first thing is goal setting is so important. You know what they say, dream is a goal without a plan. So goal setting first, really taking a good look at where you're at, where you want to be, and the steps you will take to get there. And social media is absolutely the start. I'm always talking to my owners. It's funny how many owners come into my program and think that they will never have to have a Facebook page. I'm like, that's the first thing we're doing.
Love that.
The idea is, and I learned this from Gary Vee. You
Yeah.
must be in 10 different marketing avenues. Whatever it is, you've got to get yourself to 10, because it's about having recognition, and recognition is validation. If you are not on social media, there's no validator in today's market.
Very
No
true.
matter who you are. And yes, I was just talking to a client last night who was very, very standoffish about social media. And he was saying, oh, well, I know so-and-so that made their millions just by dropping off orange brochures. I said, well, I bet you he did that before COVID, when people weren't afraid of people that came to their door, right? This is post-COVID world, and we need to come into the post-COVID mentality.
Absolutely. I agree. There was a time I started my first charity, my first venture, when I was 14, and I was sending out leaflets to try and get people to come to my dance school. The idea was it was a dance school, and the profits that were generated were then going to be given to a charity. I handed out so many leaflets, I lost count. And the day of the dance school came. I rehearsed everything. I knew every step, every song that I was going to be playing. And it gets to 1 o'clock, which is when everyone was to arrive. One person showed up. And I had a class of 30 in terms of the space. One person showed up. And that was the biggest life lesson I could have taken away, which is that I need to market in the right way if I'm ever going to go any venture. The next venture ended up being a clothing line, which I scaled through Instagram. Obviously, now we run an agency, 7 figures, 30 people, etc., all through social media. But major life lesson, from such an early age, is that like you just need to market correctly. And what that looks like in today's world is digital marketing. Like you need to be out there on social media doing what you need to do. So totally resonate when you say that.
Yeah, right. Oh, my heart goes out to that 14-year-old man that just tried so hard. I mean, that's amazing. You know what? The honest to God truth is, though, you still were putting yourself out there, just in the wrong place. So being willing to put yourself out there is really one of the most important factors. Just don't be afraid to do what you need to do to grow your business.
Yeah, absolutely. So as a coach today, and you offer programs and you teach people how to kind of scale their business, where is majority of your students and clients coming from? Is it through ads? Is it through organic social? Like what's the main kind of way that you're typically acquiring students and clients?
Just as I said, I am working in at least 10 different markets, but still organic marketing is working the best for me. Now, I do have Facebook ads running, and we're getting a lot of leads, but not a lot of qualified buyers. But, that's all about dialing in your market. And I just haven't managed to get my message correct, to tell you the truth. So for me, I'm still in this period where I am the best seller of my product. As soon as I start talking to people, then the sales start coming in. Anytime that I sort of look away to focus on my team or to focus on myself, then my sales drop. And it's so frustrating. It is really the thing that holds me back, is trying to find a way to train a sales team and have sales work on autopilot.
I think a big thing of what you just mentioned is you are the biggest salesperson for your business, and just pumping out enough content effectively, right, is the equivalent of having thousands of sales conversations at once, which will only help your sales team. So you want to build a system, and this is what we do for our clients, right? Have a system whereby you're only recording, right? Scripts are given to you, ideas are given to you, editing's done for you, graphics done for you. You just spend your time recording, so your face of brand, everything else is done. And that way, your time is being used efficiently, and you can spend the rest of your time training your team and training your sales team, etc. And this way, everything's working in effectively. So I strongly recommend that. But I mean, this is the problems of scaling, or kind of the kind of
it's typical, right?
Yeah, exactly. So it comes with it, right?
Mhm.
But let's talk a little bit more, because I know our listeners are really gonna want to hear this. Let's talk a little bit more about, you said organic has been the most effective channel in terms of giving qualified buyers. Is this where they see your content, they reach out? Are you reaching out to your followers? Like what's the main kind of way it's working for you? Like what's the
Yes.
mechanism?
Yeah, it is basically they see my content, they like or they comment, and then I respond.
Love it.
So, and we're on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, LinkedIn. We do email marketing. But right now, I do have people on my team responding, but they just don't seem to be able to create that feel. As soon as I start talking to people, we start getting them in the door. So I've tried to train my staff to be like me, and I'm finding it hard. And I really do concentrate on when I'm receiving marketing from other people. I see the messages. You can spot a
A
trained
bot.
salesperson a mile away.
Oh yeah. Trained sales. I thought you were going to say a bot. You can definitely spot a trained salesperson for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, the
But
script is the same, right?
yeah, I mean, it's not the script, it's the structure and flow, right? Because understanding like, for example, we have a whole clinic that our clients get access to. And one of the like process that we train them through is like the qualification process, right? So when you're in the DMs and you're speaking to these people, the same way someone's commented and they've reached out, or, they've just commented and you've reached out to them. The goal is, I want to get this person on a booked call, right? So I just need to identify and for every business is going to be different. For us, we need to identify, do you have enough revenue, and are you a coach, right? Because we can't really work with, or an online business, we can't really work with like a local plumbing service. It just wouldn't make sense.
Service-based, yeah.
Right. So
that's my job.
yeah, exactly. Right. So in that sense, our goal in the DMs is, the objective is this: we just need to provide enough relatability and have a structured flow in order to achieve the objective. And so then we have kind of structured frameworks. So it's not so much the same script of words, but it's a script structure that's kind of typically the same. Does that make sense?
Yes, absolutely. Yes.
Yeah. So that's been really, really effective. That's been really effective. But that's really good to hear. The fact that, people are commenting, you reach out, or your team reach out. And then from there, you're getting them, I'm assuming, into booked calls, and then you're showcasing the program, et cetera, et cetera. All right. Are you taking them through a funnel, or are you literally just having a conversation with them and then saying, let's have a chat, and then close them?
Yeah, for sure. There's both. There is the online funnel, and then there's me reaching out, and then I place them into the funnel.
Amazing. Okay. Let's talk a little bit. I know we have like a couple minutes here. Let's talk a little bit about the online funnel. I know our listeners are going to want to hear about that. What's the online funnel? What does that look like?
It's a video sales letter. Video sales letter ad that they click on, which then takes them to the sales page and qualifying page, which qualifies them for our program. We just recently decided that we were going to send people that make 5,000 or less to a different funnel, because we do have a program for them, but we're finding they're getting mixed up in with the master plan and freedom program funnel. And to tell you the truth, the people that make 5,000 or less are way less reliable. They don't show up to the call. They're skittish. They're scared. I want to help them because they don't understand how their fear is holding them back. But at the same time, they're kind of wasting my time, that I'm not going to be here in 5 years if I concentrate only on them. And in 5 years, when they need me, I want to be there for them. So we're just tweaking our funnel now. But once they get to the call, then they meet with my assistant, Nolan, and have a sales call. If they, at that point, because we have such a high ticket offer, at that point, if they are still not certain, then Nolan might put them into a call with me, and I might come in and alleviate their concerns and just make sure they're a really good fit for the program.
Amazing. I love that. Final question on that. So you mentioned obviously a video sales letter landing page. just to recap, so someone comments, you reach out, have a conversation, and then you direct them, you send them the link to the landing page, or
Actually, if I've talked to them, what I'll do is just try to set the appointment with them. I'll put them in the appointment with my assistant. Sometimes I'll give them my assistant's Calendly link. Other times I'll just get the date and time and put the information in for them. It just depends on where the conversation goes.
Love it, love it, love it. Okay, sweet. Final couple questions. So we're moving into 2025 soon. Super exciting. So
yes,
you've obviously got an established business, proven offer, proven case studies, amazing case studies, actually. What's the plan for 2025? What's going to be the next step in this business?
It's amazing. So 2025, what we're working on now is stability. The first 4 years have been growth and perfecting our process. We've got an amazing system now. We've got an amazing team. I've just in October, I hired a business manager and a personal assistant with some pretty impressive skills. So we're moving to corporation status in 2025. I have huge goals for 2025 for our business, and I'm excited to see it happening. For me personally, it's more being on stage, getting out there and getting my message across that everybody is worthy of everything they desire. My mission in life is to help others overcome obstacles. I have a series of books coming out about my life story. I'm a childhood trauma survivor, overcame alcoholism after 27 years and lost my business. So each of those stories is in a different book. I just finished the first draft of the first book, Overcoming Childhood Trauma. Yeah. So I'll be on stages in 2025, working with a publisher to hopefully have my first stage appearance in probably May or June, all working towards being on a huge stage in 2026 for women's empowerment. I've been invited to speak in front of 20,000 people in 2026.
Love it.
But 2025, just to finish it off, is going to be about personal growth. I've given everything of myself to my business for the last 5 years. Now I'm going to really focus on personal growth in the next year.
Love it. And you obviously mentioned you want to be on stage. I'm assuming personal brand is basically going to be the big, like, let me be the face, let me make this happen. And then like everyone else is going to be inspired through that, et cetera, et cetera. What's the title of your book going to be, by the way?
So there was a 6-page article done based on the prologue for the book. It's called Stepping Stones to Success. I just think it's going to be the same thing. I think the title is going to be the same.
Great title. I love it. Sounds like you've been through an incredible journey.
Yes, I have.
And it's clearly obviously brought you to where you are today, and all of that success is well deserved, given obviously everything you've been through. So I'm super excited for what 2025 is going to give you.
Thank you so much.
For our listeners and viewers, what do you think growing into 2025 is going to be the biggest challenge, do you feel?
It's always the same. Every time that you level up, imposter syndrome is the biggest challenge. I am stepping into the new me, the next level me, which throughout my entire life, it's been constantly going to the next level. And what I learned a couple of levels ago was that every level comes with the same challenges, the same fears and inconsistencies, the same challenges as well financially. People think, when I get there, I'll have the money to be there. The thing is that growth is expensive. It's expensive emotionally, mentally, financially, and expensive when you think about your relationships as well. So the next step in stepping into this persona of being on stages is definitely going to come with all of those challenges, which I'm excited to take, because when you walk through those challenges, you also level up emotionally. And, through all the struggles I had in my life up until I finally got sober, I never felt that I was worthy of anything more in my life. And I went into a 28-day program that taught me I am worthy of everything I want. In fact, every human being is worthy. And now I just keep going for it. I'm like, well, I deserve it too. You know, if Gary Vee gets to be there, if Whoopi Goldberg gets to be there, Oprah Winfrey gets to be there, so do I. It's not about wanting to be famous. It's about wanting to inspire others to understand that they don't have to live in a life of chains.
Such a beautiful message.
So I
Yeah.
do have this message. It must be why the universe put me through what it did so that I could help others. So yeah. My big focus in 2024 was forgiving the people that harmed me as a child. And I did finally, after 38 years of therapy and psychologists and all of these things, I finally, one of my mentors, actually, his name is Armin Chaffee. He took me through a regressive meditation and helped me forgive the people that hurt me before they actually hurt me. And it changed my life.
Wow.
So I would say that for everybody leveling up, we all have trauma, whatever it is that causes you to stay, to sit back, to wait, deal with that. And then the leveling up comes easier.
Love it. Love it. I was just listening today to a book called 12 Rules of Life. And literally one of the rules is that your outer world is a reflection of your inner. So you're absolutely right. You know, you got to deal with that so you can level up. But that's a beautiful message. I really appreciate you sharing that. And that was going to be my final question, which was what message you wish to share. So you've gone ahead and shared that. And I really appreciate that.
Thank you very much.
Amazing. I appreciate you, Kerry-Ann. Thank you so much for coming on this podcast. And I'm really, really looking forward for our listeners and viewers to actually listen to this because I loved this. So
thank you so much. It was fun to do. It's been so long since I've shared any part of my journey. I've forgotten. And what you do forget is that it's constantly evolving. And so doing this podcast with you has allowed me a chance to reflect and really be grateful for all of the things that have happened in the last year.
I really hope you enjoyed this podcast. I want you to go away and execute everything there is that you've learned. Now, one thing I will say is if you're in a position where you're ready to actually take things to another level, you want structured, clear guidance, you want a team that can actually help accelerate you, book in a chat with our advisors. Why? We can blow up your personal brand to attract clients begging to work with you. All you got to do is book in a chat with our advisors and we can help make it happen. Sound fair enough?